This is a huge week for the crypto market. I don't know what others say, but I don't care what others say. As long as the market shows you this is exactly what's happening in here. And that is not just one time. You go back in the past and you get to see each and every time this works out. Not just in the Bitcoin, not just in the Bitcoin dominance, but for the entire crypto market. Now, be honest with yourself. You look at the payments industry, you look at the smart contracts industry, you look at the gaming, whichever segment you are in, you care about in crypto ecosystem, we'll actually cover that here. I like to tell you one thing before we dive deep in. Weekly chart on Bitcoin now argues you have a negative divergence. What does that mean? What happened in the past just after the negative divergence? How did the altcoins react? Let's cover that in here. Welcome to the scientific investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We've been going through a lot of these different assets, giving you guys the updates, breakouts, risk, everything in front of you so that you understand which side of the market is tilting against you. Yeah, so be a part of the SI family, where 1,470 plus members, getting close to 1,500 now, is taking benefit of each and everything I post. And from here, as I've been saying, it's the time. Why? Watch. In 2019, when you got the market saying, yeah, baby, watch, that's a negative divergence, what happened? In 2021, when the market for Bitcoin said, I have a negative divergence, what happened? Right now, you have a negative divergence in Bitcoin. Yeah, so each and every time when you go in the past, you're going all the way, right? 2013, 2014, you get to see this, except for one cycle here. In that cycle, you get to see something different. You get to actually understand the fact that, oh, whoa, something else is happening in here. The volume is shifting, it's pivoting, everything. Now, you go into the Bitcoin chart right now, which is zoomed in view. You need to first understand that. When you zoom in, this is what the Bitcoin is showing you. Okay, we are in a volatile zone, but we kind of got one bounce. And that bounce gives you the short-term argument. So don't confuse. I'm going to give you two arguments from my side. One on the macro, two on the micro. First, let's start with the micro and then put it into the perspective of macro. Micro argues you a 12-hour candle just erased the previous bearish candle, which means negativeness is easing or buyers are entering. Now it's a retest of the same. You're coming back. So one candle to the upside is now literally taking 5 different candles to the downside just to test the bottom. Yeah, sellers are weak or buyers are still strong. Now, what would you look as an upside? If you remain in this pattern, you're looking for this top. Now, would I look at 110 or would I look at something close to 109? Does it really matter? If it does, okay, I'll be looking at 109. I'll be looking at a lower high. Yeah, I have my own reasons for that, but forget about my opinion. We should be looking at what the market is saying. Here you are taking the weekly chart of Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin kind of gives you a decent argument saying one thing, just one thing, which is the price action just confirmed negative divergence. The weekly candle close in Bitcoin gave you the first negative divergence of this cycle. When I say that, remember it started from November, December 2022. Right now you are in December 2024. So 2 years, that's gone. And that 2 years literally was a big trend to the upside. Now, if you're on the bullish part of the equation, you're putting it like this. What does that mean for you? Yeah, remove that and look at this. You are now trying to make this kind of an attempt to push higher. Yeah, you're doing this. What if you fail here? That's the trouble. Because last time when the price was here, you had way more buying power. The strength of accumulated buyers. Right now, even though the price is above that level, you don't have that. So someone is selling. I don't know who, but I can assure you it's not small guys. Small guys selling won't result in such. Yeah. So now bring it up on a monthly. We now have just 1 week to go for this year and this month. So that means this month, as it gets closed, if it's showing you a clear-cut negative divergence on a monthly, let me ask you honestly, what are you going to decide? Is that the end of the cycle? Because last time when I saw something like this happening, that was back in 2021, and we all know how that ended. So there is no argument against it. You go up in 2013 to 2014 and you get to see somewhat similar results. When you do have a clear-cut negative divergence, you don't go against it. Fine. So you now understand what Bitcoin is doing. Now, what Bitcoin does is what the altcoin follows in the trend, which means the total crypto market, not just total altcoin market, the total crypto market abides by Bitcoin because the Bitcoin dominance is still above 50%. Yeah, that's the majority. In here, you're watching the total crypto market. So the direction of total crypto market is important for us as long as the Bitcoin dominance is still about 25-30%, which is still significant amount. Right now, it's close to 60. Yeah. Then you come up here, you're bringing in all your indicators, you're looking at the volume. So I'm like, okay, fine, I understand. The total volume in crypto is increasing. But then when I actually pick up Bitcoin, total volume is not going up. Okay, maybe it's just the exchange. We try a lot of different exchanges. Fine, it doesn't seem like it. So to get further clarity, we then go in to the Bitcoin market because, you can't miss one thing or the other. You literally need to look through each and every possibilities. Fine. So you go here and you're like, Binance is around the top exchange for that asset. You have crypto.com, you have BitTrue, it's all true. Yeah, but it's among the top 3, which means there's a lot of people putting arguments saying, no, don't look at Binance. They don't have volume. Let's look at another exchange. And when I come to the actual market, looking at that particular exchange, they don't even have 1% of the actual volume which Binance has. Because most of the exchanges here, if you're looking at them, they don't even have 1% trading volume in 24 hours. So be reliable, be honest with yourself. The top 5 exchanges here, I would trust them. I would go look at the volume and the trend of that volume and say, okay, that's genuine. So for me, Binance is genuine. For me, when I compare it with Bitstamp, something with lower volume, that still simulates. So you're not hyping it up. Now, once you understand that as a fact, what would you do? Okay, that means altcoins are starting to get more volume. That's why we're picking up the altcoin market. And we are just removing Ether in that equation and looking at what other altcoins are doing. It agrees. It says the volume is increasing. Fine. What will be the results? I mean, we all would like to see that, right? So let's plot that on a weekly and a monthly because that gives spot riders an idea. Now, the weekly is where the initial confusion is, as I described in yesterday's video, because you literally have a possible negative divergence. But with the weekly close, it's saying I do have a negative divergence. That's where we come here and see, yeah, back then also, you had a negative divergence just above the accumulation zone. I gave you all the details in the last video, so we are not following that up. Rather, we're now going into a higher time frame structure. Yeah. Now, the monthly chart, if the monthly closes here in the total altcoin market, that means some altcoins are getting hammered, or they are highly correlated with Bitcoin and they are about to tank as well. Yeah. And I'm posting those in the Patreon. Yeah. I'll just give you one example. If you do look at some of these assets, pick them up on your exchange, your favorite exchange, whichever you would like. It doesn't matter. Now you take a weekly chart, now you take a 3-day chart, whichever you like. But agree with the chart. If the chart is saying, I have negative divergence, don't go against it. Yeah. So now we are looking at one side of the altcoin market where it says, I have negative divergence. Good. So that's inside the altcoin market. So this cycle has some difference from the last cycle. What is it? It's about to get hammered. But which of the other direction is showing I don't have a negative divergence and I'm clearly following the trend? This is one of that which did exactly same thing in the last cycle. See, the top for Bitcoin was when? March 2021. This guy was literally going up till December 2021. It was making the top in November, December. So it went up another 7-8 months after Bitcoin topped out. This is what I'm trying to convey. Some segments and assets in the altcoin market is going to top out with Bitcoin. It's not going to be all the altcoins riding to the upside, making it easy. I really don't think all the institutions involved, all the whales involved will make it that easy just to sit tight in different altcoins to just make huge gains. Some may give you big gains, 100%, 200%, but not the real big poppers. They won't be there. That is why I go on a weekly chart on almost every asset I hold, asking myself, do I have a negative divergence? I don't say this is XRP. That's the majority of my portfolio. I'm looking at it. Do I have a negative divergence? I don't. I go on a 3-day chart. Do I have a negative divergence? I don't. So I don't care. Yeah. You pick up XLM. It's following XRP, almost the same. There is no negative divergence. So that, for me, is like 90%, 95% of my portfolio. Yeah. When you're looking at the grand scheme of things, because they went up and some others which were big dropped and one exchange screwed me, yeah, now the proportion looks like this. Now, what does that mean? For you, if you're heavy in payments, now you don't have a lot of confusion. But if you do have other segments, a decent diversified crypto portfolio with smart contracts, with gaming and everything else, now, yeah, you will have to look through them on a weekly to make sure, do you have a negative divergence? If you don't, it's okay. Fine. Ride those assets because they are going to go higher. Bitcoin is going to be choppy. Bitcoin is going to remain here, which is whales literally coming out and saying, whoa, watch, there's going to be an opportunity. Yeah. If it makes a higher low, that is good thing to see. It is going to come back up to retest somewhat these levels. I would argue this zone, I would like to see this kind of a structure topping around here. So the first wave should top out here in the micro, and then it should slowly start bleeding. Now, that time is the trouble. If you draw that on a 4-hour chart, it's very close. Usually, the last leg of that wave is not that soon. It takes a little bit more time than anticipated. So that is why you should look at the Bitcoin dominance. It has such a pattern as you see. rising wedge, wait for a break to the downside. If it breaks 58 to the downside, that's cool. If it breaks 57, okay, that's accelerating. Now remember, dollar itself is showing you a negative divergence. Dollar itself is arguing that I'm having a negative divergence. But think about it. You have a breakout, you have a retest, you have a new president coming into the US. What the hell is going to happen to change that narrative? Dollar usually does that. Don't get confused. This is a 3-day chart on dollar showing you it had a negative divergence. Yeah? That happened to be a retest and a bounce. It showed you another negative divergence. That happens to be, again, a bounce. So you need to look at the history of individual assets to see how many times they show you a negative divergence on average, or which negative divergence is valid in that asset. Is it a 3-day? Is it a weekly? Is it a monthly? Follow that. If it shows you the monthly negative divergence has been the standard here, fine, you follow that. If it shows you it's been the quarterly negative divergence, which has been the standard, follow that. Most of these currency markets, gold and all, they follow quarterly chart. Why? Institutions decide based on quarterly reports. I mean, they put in billions, if not trillions. Yeah. So now you look at a quarterly chart and you say, whoa, that's a bullish engulfing candle. It's taking the support. They are now pricing in Trump into that economy. Who wants to make that economy big? Great. Fine. We understand. So now you go back to the crypto market. Now Bitcoin, crypto market. You put it on a monthly and say, okay, monthly in the Bitcoin ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem, is showing you. Now I'm saying that because the institutions look at Bitcoin as the crypto market. Now Ether and XRP as well. Now, when I say XRP, I'm not exaggerating that. You come here into the market and you see the top 5 assets. Do you recognize any of them? XRP literally is the third one if you exclude the stable coins. Yeah. And XRP don't have a negative divergence, which means it is going to continue higher from here. And if you want further updates on all of these different assets one by one, be a part of the Scientific Investor family. Use the link in the description below and jump in now before it gets too exhausting for me. Because at that point, I'll literally close all the tiers because it gets very hard to respond. Yesterday, it was like 1 a.m. in the morning where I was still trying to close all the pending messages. I tried to finish them almost 99%, but still by the time I finish the pendings, it's already the new ones piling up. So basically, it'll be very hard to respond to each and every one. I'll literally have to do video updates again as it's getting congested. But I'm going to do that. Don't worry. If you are there, you're going to see what I'm going to do at my end. If I believe it's the top and I'm going to sell, you'll know that. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'll do the decision believing that it's right in my portfolio. Yeah. So now, back to XLM, XRP and all. It shows you they don't have a negative divergence. Now, you can anticipate what they will do based on short term. Short term, they showed you a negative divergence. We understood that. We called for a drop. That happened. Now, on a long term, they don't. So they are willing to bet it is going to go higher. Bitcoin, it's staying the same. So I don't want to make this boring. You go in the market, pick the asset you want, look at it on a macro and see if there is no negative divergence, fine, ride it till you have a negative divergence, at least on a 3-day, at least on a weekly. Because some of these coins on one side or the other in different segments are already showing you I have a negative divergence. If you see that, stay cautious. If you want to get those updates, be a part of this. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys in the next video. Bye for now.